WTA rankings. How many points will 2025 newcomers Mboko, Eala, Boisson defend in January? At the start of the 2025 season, Victoria Mboko and Alex Eala were still playing lower-tier tournaments, but they will face the very best in women's tennis when the 2026 WTA Tour gets underway. Just over 12 months ago, Mboko was setting the world alight on the ITF Women's World Tennis Tour while Eala was competing on the WTA Challenger Tour, and fellow rising stars Maja Joint and Iva Jovic featured on the WTA Tour thanks to wildcard entries. While Lois Boisson was out injured, the five ended up enjoying brilliant breakthrough seasons that earned them nominations for the 2025 WTA Newcomer of the Year award, along with Eva Liss, with Mboko taking the honors on the back of winning the Canadian Open and Hong Kong Open, while she also finished at career-high number 18 in the WTA rankings, having started the year outside the top 300. But what a difference a year makes, as Boisson, Joint, Jovic and Eala are also inside the top 100 of the rankings, and all five will compete on the WTA Tour in January 2026 as they have gained direct entries into several events, including the Australian Open. Want more from Tennis 365? Add us as a preferred source on Google to your favorites list for tennis coverage you can trust. The fact that they competed at lower-tier events in 2025 means they won't have too many points to defend in the first few months of the year. Let's look at the points they will drop in the first month of the new season. Victoria Mboko, 70 points. The teenager was competing on the ITF circuit in January 2025 and she won two W35 titles: the ITF Le Lamentin, France, Martinique, and the ITF Petit Bourg, France, Guadeloupe, with each worth 35 points. Mboko didn't play any WTA main draw qualifiers, so she only has 70 points to defend in the first month of the new year. Given that she is currently comfortably at number 18 in the rankings, she has a good chance to surge into the top 10 with good performances at the United Cup 2026, Adelaide International and Australian Open. Maja Joint, 140 points. World number 32 Joint will drop 98 points from her run to the semi-final of the Hobart International, 32 from Brisbane and 10 from the Australian Open at the start of 2025. The Australian will play at the United Cup and the Australian Open. Iva Jovic, 70 points. The American started her 2025 season at the Australian Open and she won on her debut as she beat Spain's Nuria Perez Diaz in the first round before losing against Elena Rybakina. The teenager, currently at number 35 in the rankings, earned 70 points for her performance. Jovic will start her season at the ASB Classic in Auckland, and that will be followed by an appearance at the Hobart International and the Australian Open. Lois Boisson, 0 points. The French star only made her 2025 debut in March as she was recovering from a long-term injury. Of course, she went on to record a memorable run at the French Open, reaching the semi-finals to surge up the rankings. Boisson is currently at number 36 in the WTA rankings, and with no points to defend, she could make her top 20 breakthrough at the end of January with a couple of good results. The Frenchwoman will start her campaign at the United Cup before heading to Melbourne for the Australian Open. Alex Eala, 55 points. The world number 53 featured at the WTA Challenger Canberra International and reached the semi-final, 55. While she also lost in the first round of qualifiers at the Australian Open, 2, and the second round of the ITF Bengaluru Open, 14, but the latter two events are non-countable. Eala has signed up for the ASB Classic and the Australian Open. Tennis introduction. The WTA rankings landscape. Every year in professional tennis, players must defend points they earned during the same period the previous season. The WTA rankings operate on a rolling system. Points from tournaments drop off 52 weeks after they were earned, and new results replace them. How many points a player must defend early in a season strongly influences how easily they can climb or risk sliding down the rankings. Scrib D. For most top players with full WTA schedules, defending points from Grand Slams and WTA 1000 events can be massive, often in the thousands. But for newcomers rising through 2025, their 2026 defenses are much smaller, because they earned many of their points in lower-tier ITF and smaller events, and not yet at big WTA tournaments. Tennis 365. This makes January an especially exciting month for newcomers, a chance to leap up the rankings with minimal pressure. glowing star Victoria Mboko, 70 points to defend in 2025, Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko exploded onto the scene. She started the year ranked outside the top 300, but by winning 2 ITF W35 titles she earned 35 points at each event. Those are the only points she's defending at the start of 2026, a total of 70 points. Tennis 365. Why this matters. With only 70 points to defend, Mboko enters the 2026 season in a powerful position. She doesn't have big results to repeat from 1 year ago, which removes pressure and increases opportunity for ranking gains. Because she climbed as high as number 18 by the end of 2025 thanks to bigger tournament success later in the year, the low defense burden means she can potentially break even higher with strong results in January and at the Australian Open. Tennis 365. Philippines Alex Eala, 55 points to defend. Filipino star Alex Eala had her own breakthrough in 2025, moving up dramatically in the WTA rankings. According to the most recent data, she ended the season inside the top 50, having made significant strides after spending earlier months in lower-tier events. To tennies.com, her defending points for January 2026: 55 points from a semi-final run at a WTA Challenger event in Canberra. Points from earlier qualifying rounds, e.g., Australian Open and ITF Bengaluru, don't count towards her defending total this season. Tennis 365. Why this matters. Eala's situation is similar to Mboko's. She stepped up from ITF and Challenger level action, so she doesn't have heavy WTA points to defend in early 2026. That gives her the chance to capitalize on main draw entries into WTA Tour events, including the Australian Open. A chance to add big ranking points early, something that could propel her towards even higher rankings without major drops. Tennis 365. France Lois Boisson, 0 points to defend. French rising star Lois Boisson has one of the best January positions among the 2025 newcomers. She has 0 points to defend at the start of 2026. Why? She didn't compete early in the 2025 season due to a long-term injury and only started playing from March onwards. Her breakthrough came later in the season, especially a memorable run to the French Open semifinal, but there's nothing from January of last year left that will drop off now. Tennis 365. Why this matters. This is a rare advantage. With no points defending, Boisson can rack up new points without losing any old ones in January.